So navigating the real estate market here in Southwest Florida is an interesting thing to do. And if you are a snowbird, which means you are a potentially seasonal resident of Southwest Florida, there are some important things that you'll want to know before you make a decision. We're going to explore that in the video. Let's jump right into it. Now, I have been in real estate here in Southwest Florida for over 18 years. And again, there are some things that people just don't know that I feel like we need to communicate that. Now, if you are a snowbird, chances are you already know the pros of the lifestyle when it comes to living in Florida, the amazing weather, especially during the winter months, the lifestyle, the beaches, which is where we are right now, the golf course lifestyle, tennis, pickleball, everything outdoor. You as a snowbird, you get to enjoy that during the winter months, whereas if you lived up north, well, it's just not the same. Now, first and foremost, this decision is primarily about lifestyle. So you need to determine what kind of a life do you want to live when you are here in Florida, and that will determine where you go and what type of communities that you live in. And so, for example, if you are a golfer, clearly we're going to look at golf course communities. There are over 150 golf courses here in Southwest Florida, and I have done some other videos on the golf courses in the area that goes into more depth, so make sure you explore the channel to see some of the other videos about golf courses explicitly. But if you're a beach person, you want to be closer to the beach, these are all factors that we're going to talk about. Now, one of the important things that has come out over time is the importance of potential storms, and I hate to talk about it in a positive video, but if you plan that there will be storms in the future, they're not as stressful when they come. If you're farther away from the coast, if the home has the types of hurricane shutters and storm protection in place, and you're not in a flood zone, you don't have to worry quite as much as the people who do who are coastal based. So these are some of the original things that we have to consider. So then the larger question becomes around the geographic area. So in Southwest Florida, we have cities like Naples, Fort Myers, Cape Coral, but there are also other cities like Bonita Springs, Estero, Sanibel, Marco Island that are a little lesser known. And each one has pros and cons, and each one really has a different median price point as far as where you want to be. Typically at the top of that list from a price point perspective would be Naples, because Naples is home of the majority of the retired Fortune 500 CEOs. Naples has some of the best boating, some of the most amazing real estate in the world. But if that's not what you're looking for, there are some other options, and it's just a deeper question as far as which city fits your needs. Now, interestingly enough, timing is a big factor. And generally speaking, they say, you can never time the market. And that's not necessarily what we're doing on a macro level, but it is important from a snowbird's perspective because we do have certain annual trends that take place. Now, if you're looking to purchase a home as a snowbird, generally when snowbirds are here, the competition raises. So in the months of February, March, and April in particular, there are more people in Southwest Florida than there are at any other time. So there's more demand. There's just more demand that happens in the overall marketplace. So key times to be looking for real estate might not be when there's the highest demand. Typically that happens in the summer months, or right now we're right before the holidays or during the holidays. Those tend to be a very good time of year because people it's not top of mind. And if you can find a motivated seller during a holiday season, that seems to be a really good time frame to be able to make a purchase. Now, we've been talking a bit about buying, but there's also the option of renting. And so I want to make sure that you are able to explore and make the best decision for you. A lot of times what people do as snowbirds is they try out the area. They try out different parts of Florida to make sure that it fits what they're looking for. And so there are a lot of seasonal rentals that do happen here in Southwest Florida. Most of them are going to require at least a 30-day stay. So if you're saying, hey, I want to spend 3 months in Southwest Florida, see how I like it, there are plenty of options that are available. Typically, most people come down January, February, March. So again, as we had talked about previously, the demand is higher on the sales side, but the demand is also higher on the rental side. So you can expect to pay more in rent than you would in other times of the year, but this is just the time that you're going to want to experience Southwest Florida. So it's worth the investment many times to to see what an area is like. And even if you're not ready to make a decision on that, right when you move down, it gives you time to explore other potential areas. Otherwise, you're constrained to trying to find a home in a weekend, and maybe you didn't take into account all of the different dynamics that you should if you gave yourself more time to be here for a few months before you make that ultimate purchase. Now, when it comes to the actual property itself, there are other factors to consider. Many times snowbirds are only here for a period of time. So let's say that you're only here 4 months out of the year, and then you don't want to rent it out off season, which is possible, by the way, but let's say you don't want to do that, and your intention is that the property is vacant outside of the times that you're occupying it. Well, you want to make sure that you're in a scenario that has less maintenance and less potential things that go wrong in that scenario. So if that's you, you may want to be in a condo situation, or you may want to be in a homeowners association that takes care of all the landscaping, all the exterior items, so that you don't have to worry about that when you're gone. And also, just as an extra tidbit, if you're going to be gone that long, there are certain things that you would want to do, like have a home watch, somebody checking on the property, and having other potential things that we're going to do to make sure that we can care for it, like having AC, an AC maintenance ahead of time. Now, this next topic I could talk about for hours because it's such a big component of real estate in Southwest Florida, and this is about homeowners associations. Homeowners associations are everywhere. They are rampant, might be a bit of a strong word, but you can't get away from them for the most part, because any community that's going to have amenities, any community that's going to have certain rules and restrictions, they're going to have a homeowners association. And so if you want certain amenities like a resort style pool, tennis courts, pickleball courts, golf courses, those are all in homeowners associations. It's very important that you understand what the homeowners association provides, what they do not provide, what their budget is, what the HOA fees are, because this is a big component in the entire decision. Because here's the thing about HOAs. They rarely, if ever, go down. They only go up. And you also pay for what you get. So if you want the amazing resort style amenities in a community, those come with a price tag by way of HOA fees. And so that's fine as long as you understand what you're getting into. But if you have restaurants and other things that require significant capital, chances are that capital's got to come from the residents who are in that particular community. Some people who are at a stage of retirement, they don't care, and that's fantastic. But as always, we want to make sure you have all the information to make the best decision for you. Now, navigating the financial component of purchasing a seasonal residence as a snowbird, there are certain things to think about here as well. So number one, being in Florida has certain advantages. Being a primary resident of Florida has even more advantages. So there is no income tax in the state of Florida. We have no sales tax on groceries. Also, if you're able to homestead, so if you're able to use this as your home for 6 months and a day or over 6 months here in Florida, there's also something that's called the homestead exemption with property taxes. So that caps the amount that the property taxes can go up every single year as well. So the financial implications are huge. Now, when it comes to financing, if you're a cash purchaser, doesn't affect you here, but if you're needing financing, there are different components that need to be analyzed about buying a second home. It does not work exactly the same as if you're buying your primary residence. So if this is the first time that you're purchasing a second home or a seasonal residence, we should have a conversation and put you in touch with a good lender who can talk to you about what it takes to be a seasonal resident, a seasonal homeowner. Now, being a snowbird, there are a lot of things to think about. And this is where it's very important that you have a local expert on your side. Now, whether that's me and my team who would be honored to work with you, or it's somebody else, I just ask that you do your proper research and lean on the people who are local to help you navigate the local market. Sure, you can see homes on a lot of different websites that are out there. Our website might be the best. Sorry, Zillow, but it is what it is. But here's the thing. Doing it on your own as somebody who lives outside of the area is just not a great idea, because there are so many intricacies that happen when it comes to a lot of the different components in real estate in Florida in general. And so I ask you, I beg you, please do yourself a favor and work with a local expert, and we'd be honored to have you work with us. Now, that does it for the video. If you can do me a favor, as always, if you can like the video, subscribe to the channel, that helps us create more content that's good for you. And as always, have a blessed day, and we look forward to seeing you in Florida very soon.